What's up, everybody? Matt Gajeski here, back again with the Odd Shopper YouTube channel. And today I'm talking college basketball bets ahead of Monday, March the 6th. It's a short slate, but the regular season is behind us. We're in the middle of conference tournament play now, quarterfinals, semifinals, even the finals of some conferences. We'll break it out down. Before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. We have a new show on Odd Shopper called The Odd Shop. It is Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a live show, and on that particular show, we have Ben, Aton, Greg, all of the main hosts talking their bets of the day, what they like across sports. So make sure to check that out. And we are presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. They have a phenomenal offer for you guys where you can make a $5 pregame money line wager on any team. And if that wins, you automatically turn that $5 into $150. So my recommendation is head over to DraftKings Sportsbook, find a big favorite. For example, Gonzaga is a 14-point favorite over San Francisco tonight. You hit them on the money line, give yourself the best chance to turn that 5 into 150. You can take advantage of this by clicking the link in the video description below. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. And the legal age for gambling in most states is 21. All right. Last time we talked, we were talking about some greasy slates on Friday. Picks on the video went 1-1. Not a huge slate for me. But today, it might look greasy on paper, but man, we have some awesome games tonight. And let's bring you behind the glass and kick things off with Towson taking on Charleston. This is a semifinal matchup. And right now, Towson is plus 5.5. When you look at the metrics, they're 130th in Ken Pom Power Rankings. Charleston is 73rd. Charleston has had the awesome season, just 3 losses. Now, they should have had a number of other losses, including one to Towson earlier this year, which we'll talk about. But it's a lot of points on a neutral location for Towson. That is the team I will be favoring, plus 5.5 here. So to dive into the first matchups. First time these teams played, Charleston won 76-74. But shot quality actually had the score in favor of Towson by 79-73. So important shot quality win there. Second game, they traveled to Charleston. This was actually on February 23rd, so not long ago. Towson lost 83-75. Pretty similar shot quality score, so nothing to really write home about there. But now we're on a neutral court. And what do we have between these two teams? First of all, I do think we have some advantages for Towson. These are both two good teams. You look at offensive efficiency, 85th for Towson, Charleston 15th. Defensive efficiency, 111th for Towson, Charleston 25th. But when you really dive in, you'll find there are some areas of success for both teams. And then Towson actually matches up really well against Charleston. Charleston's awesome at scoring inside. They're 69th in 2-point percentage. Unfortunately for them, Towson is 71st in 2-point defense. Meanwhile, the weakness of Towson on defense is against the 3. They're 190th. But Charleston, they shoot a ton of threes. They're just not very good at it. They're 177th in 3-point percentage. So the weakness of Charleston is actually really the weakness of Towson. Meanwhile, the strength of Charleston is the strength of Towson. So you've got weakness on weakness, strength on strength. And you can even look at rebounding and height. Charleston wins a lot through their size, evidenced by the 2-point percentage. They're 12th in rebounding. Towson's 14th. It's a good matchup for Towson on paper to knock off maybe the front runner in this conference to head to the bracket. But regardless if they win or lose, 5.5 is too many points. So we'll back Towson plus 5.5. Going to our second game. This one's actually the final of the Southern Conference. Chattanooga Furman rematch of last year. That was an amazing game. If you didn't see the buzzer beater, go back and watch it. But we've got a total here, which is interesting to me. It's at 154.5. It was at 156, and I'm kicking myself this morning. I saw the 156 last night. I was like, I'm going to wait, see if we can't get a better number. And, sometimes you roll the dice and that it works. Sometimes it doesn't work. It did not work. It's at 154. Pulled the trigger on it anyway. Short slate, and it still does show value here. So basically, this is a pacing issue. You've got two really good offensive teams, first and foremost. Chattanooga 72nd, Furman 5th. And two bad defenses on the other side. But pacing is an issue. You have basically two teams playing at the league average. Chattanooga's 70.1 possessions per game. That's right on average. Furman only narrowly above that, 70.7. And these teams have already played this year. and both of them finished under the score. First game, 77-69, Furman victory. That was a total of 146. Second game, even lower scoring, 79-58. That's a 137 total. Now, these games were played on each other's home courts. This will be neutral. But you can see, unless there is some crazy shooting performance, and again, we're talking about two good shooting teams, it would need to be crazy even for them. This is not going over 154.5 just based on the possessions that will be played in this game. And yeah, these teams aren't great on defense, but we're not talking about defenses in the 300s either. For reference, on the interior, Chattanooga is 177th. It's not horrible. 3-point. Furman is 184th. They're not great numbers, but again, we're talking about middle of the pack, basically. There's 364 college basketball teams. 184 is definitely not good, but we're not talking about some of the worst defenses in the country either. So you can kind of hang your hat on that. Regardless, pacing is an issue here. We're going under 154.5. Last game we'll talk about today. We'll keep it pretty greasy. And we're going to the Big Sky, who's got a really weird conference tournament structure. But Northern Arizona just upset. I believe it was the number 1 overall seed yesterday or the day before. So now this game between Idaho State and Montana is for the right to play them. But games are staggered, interestingly. Montana's -5. That's where I'm going here. They hold most advantages here. And I actually think we bet this specific game earlier this year. Montana won both the previous matchups, and they did so in pretty resounding fashion, especially in the first one. That was an 85-55 home win, of course. And then the second game was 69-61, much closer, but I believe that was also a cover for them, and that was on the road. They played neutral here, and both these teams have a lot of questions, but you're going to find a couple major advantages for Montana State. So it's basically like weakness, weakness, weakness. All right, Montana's really good at this. Idaho State doesn't really have anything like that. And the first one I want to talk about is offensive efficiency, where Montana's 86th, but Idaho State is 224th. Immediately, big advantage there for Montana. But it extends further. Effective field goal percentage. Montana's actually a good shooting team. They're 44th. Idaho State is 188th. You look at three-point percentage. Montana is 24th. That is a huge advantage shooting-wise, and that explains why their effective field goal is that high in favor of Montana. And from there, these teams are both pretty interesting. Bad at rebounding across the board. Montana has a slight advantage. And both these teams, they don't turn the ball over. They also don't force a lot of turnovers. But both teams have problems fouling, and both teams are really good on defense at generating fouls. If it comes down to a fouling match, Montana is 12th in free throw percentage. Idaho State is 124th. So there's all these razor advantages Montana's direction. And when you add them all up, this is a spread I think they can cover at -5. But a lot of other good games tonight. You've got Gonzaga on the board. We've got St. Mary's and BYU. Kind of like BYU. Wish the number was a little better. Maybe we would have talked about it. But let me know what other games you guys have your eyes on and what you think of these in the comment section. If you'd like to reach out, I'm on Twitter at Matt_Gajeski. And from here on out, when there's college basketball, we'll be talking about it. No more Sundays off. We're going to go every single day. So make sure to check those out. And until next time, good luck, everyone.